All right, it's another episode of the Cedric Maxwell Podcast. He's Cedric Maxwell. I am Josue Pavone, putting this episode together real quick before I head back to Boston for the Celtics against the Thunder. And I can't wait, Max. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you better keep that same energy in person because they might need it.
Okay.
Hopefully Jalen Williams play, though. That's my only thing. And maybe we'll see Kristaps. We'll talk about, what's going on with him and his illness. But we also got to get in some Celtics Lakers talk. Celtics beat the Jazz without Jason Tatum, 114-108 as the homestand continues for your Celtics, man. The winning streak continues on. But yeah, of course, we'll get some Thunder talk in there as well. But let's talk Lakers, man. It's just actually, I gotta bring up one other thing too before we get into that. LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith, definitely want to hear your opinion on that. But let's get back to the Lakers. All right, Celtics Lakers, another chapter in the rivalry, man. I can't remember the last time we saw one of these in the regular season where everyone was excited to see what it's going to look like. Luka and LeBron together at TD Garden for the first time. Max, what was it like, man? Of course, Celtics got the W. But what
it was pretty amazing, considering all the energy that was in the building. One thing you recognize is that it was a little bit different because LeBron and Luka were together. It was the new product, the new look Lakers. So I think that people definitely look at it in that way about what they can do and how they were going to try to attack. Luka was good, but Jaylen Brown bought it. Jaylen Brown, I walked up to him after the game. I said, he's the straw, that stirs the drink. Jason Tatum is a drink. And I think when Brown is aggressive and plays with that energy on the defensive end, it shows you exactly what, maybe why Dallas decided to trade Luka. Because Jaylen Brown was, again, dominant. Although Luka scored 30 points, Jaylen Brown was the dominant player.
Yeah, man. I saw people on Twitter saying, "Cue up that conversation with Mark Spears and Maxwell because this is what he was talking about. This is, as he put it, got Luka traded. That was a big part of it, man. Obviously, what happened in the NBA Finals, we'll never know the whole story. Well, maybe we will, but whatever the case was, they didn't want this guy to lead their team. They didn't think he was the guy. And, of course, the Lakers did what they had to do and accepted that trade. Now you get yourself set up. God bless you. Now you get yourself set up for what these two can do together and beyond, obviously. But, of course, LeBron James left the game. Didn't finish the fourth quarter. He should be out for it could be up to 2 weeks or more, according to ESPN Shams Charania. So we'll wait and see. But man, this could be.
Let me ask you this:
this could be bad for the Lakers, though, right, Max? Without LeBron James, I mean, or does Luka step in here and keep things going? I mean, they lost against the Nets.
Two things: where the hell does Sham get all this information from? I mean, where these guys work the phone that they right. Get all this information, which is crazy, and a lot of it being accurate. It does hurt the Lakers in the sense that you don't have LeBron, who's been the catalyst for Luka playing so well, and the fact that they don't have a big already really hurts them. We'll see how they play over the next couple of weeks, and can Luka carry the load? Offensively, late in that basketball game, he was very, very good. He scored, but again, Luka defending the basketball, that's the difference.
Yeah, I thought they missed a lot of size too. You didn't have Hakimura in there, Jackson Hayes, who was supposed to be the guy come off the bench and relieve Mark Williams. Obviously, before the trade they rescinded the deal. But yeah, I mean, I just think without those two guys, all of a sudden they get really small, and then without LeBron James, you get really, really small. So, I mean, I feel like the Lakers are in a situation right now, Max, where they got to stay, or at least do their best to stay in that top three, because you don't want to slip down to 4 and then have to play a team like the Thunder in the second round. I mean, for some people, they might think it might not matter, but I don't know, man. I think we're starting to see the Celtics really put those flaws out there, kind of expose them in that loss for sure.
Well, I think you're going to see the Lakers probably lose some games, and they've been a lot better than I thought. I mean, JJ Redick has them playing hard defensively, but they're going to have to really tighten it up on this East Coast road trip, considering the teams that they're going to have to play. You played the big game against the Celtics, but the Celtics are, hold their own destiny right now. You turned around and you played, you went on from there, and you played a game with the Utah Jazz, and you beat them. But now everybody, it's really crazy. Everybody's looking forward. And guys, if this is me and Josue early in the morning, we're doing for you. That's why Josue looked like he been smoking. It looked like I got the voice of, I don't know, Aladdin or something. My voice is so deep cold. But this
Thunder played last night. Yeah, I'm on like 4 hours of sleep right now.
But I am so looking forward to the everybody. The assumption right now is that the MVP is in OKC, and it's going to be really interesting because Jaylen Brown, that's going to be his assignment. Mm-hmm. And in OKC, the Celtics got a nice little lead, and then OKC ran them down at the end. Yeah, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was
hell of
really
fourth
good.
Quarter, Max. Hell of a fourth quarter.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this game, and that is the reason why you're able to rest Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum comes back fresh. Will Porzingis, when will he play? Whatever this, he put out that tweet about him having a virus, and they have not identified. That's what really bothers you. Have not identified what this virus is yet, considering the medical team that we have in Boston. You haven't identified it, but he said he's feeling better. Kind of is bothersome to the faithful of the Boston Celtics right now because everybody's looking for Porzingis to come back. And without him, you are a completely different team.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, for sure. Especially when we talked about against the Cavs and what he would mean to in a potential series between the Celtics and Cavs. But yeah, for sure. I mean, real quick before we talk more about Porzingis, I gotta get your take on this LeBron James situation that happened before the Celtics game in LA against the New York Knicks. Man, Max, I thought this was after the game. Apparently, LeBron James approached Stephen A. Smith in the middle of a game. It was like the timeout in the third quarter, confronted him about talking about Bronny James, talking about his son, told him to keep his effing don't F with his son. That's my effing son, over and over. And when Stephen A. Smith wanted to ask if he wanted to talk about it on the side, have a conversation, he said, nah, F that. Don't talk about my effing son. Max, what's your take on this situation? Because, obviously LeBron James is in the NBA. He's an NBA, is going through his first season. People have had their opinions about this whole thing. But to do this during a game, what's your, like, if you're Stephen A. Smith, what do you do in that situation?
I mean, you're Stephen A. Smith. What can you do? LeBron James controlled that narrative at the end of the day. I'm a little surprised that LeBron James did this. A friend of mine was saying, oh, LeBron James is going to break him in half and did this. LeBron James ain't hitting nobody.
Nah.
LeBron James.
He wanted to send a message.
Yeah, he sent the message that he was mad, but Stephen A. Smith is a broadcaster, and he has his opinion. And he just got $100 million from ESPN to do what he does. And like it or not, Bronny James is fair game. And one of the things he said that Bronny James is holding back somebody else's spot that should be in the NBA.
Right.
That's his opinion. And has Bronny played? No, he hasn't. Are there better players in the G League? Yes, there are. But this is a very unique situation that the star player on your team happens to be his dad, and as he said, forced the Lakers to take him in that situation. Gave him a guaranteed contract, a 3-year deal. It doesn't make it right, but it damn sure makes it even when you think about LeBron James coming up and just going up against Stephen A. Smith. I tell you what, it wasn't a good look, and it wasn't a LeBron James look. LeBron James is so calculated that it surprised me that he would do that in that form because he has so many other ways to do it. But maybe he wanted to send a message because it wasn't going to be sent any louder if you do it in public in front of everybody.
Yeah, that's a good point, Max. Especially the way, obviously, the video like that's gonna go viral. I mean, that's not something that people are just gonna be like, "Oh, I wonder what those two are talking about." You know what I mean? You know when someone's heated, and you know when someone's dropping F-bombs, at least 5 or 6. Yeah, right. The body language says it all. Says everything right there.
Even they got lip readers. You know,
right. So immediately everyone's just like, record it because. Like, well, what's this about? But look, my whole thing is, one, Stephen A. obviously isn't the only one with this hot take, right? I mean, he questioned this whole thing. He pretty much asked LeBron to stop the charade. You know, you have so much power in the situation, you know, end all this. And then the second part of it is what I think you just said, a big chunk of it, right? You send a message to the entire media, like, don't end up like Stephen A. Like, I'm gonna send a message through you so every other talking head on national TV, don't talk about my son. He did it right to Stephen A. Smith. And you know what else too, Max? You think Stephen Smith's gonna have something critical to say about Bronny James in the near future? Absolutely not. So I think that's another part. It's like, man, you won't deal with this again. I'm gonna say something right now, son, and you won't have to deal with this criticism again. But what is that the best thing for Bronny James, though?
No, I don't think that. I don't think it stops it. Matter of fact, it's going to.
You don't think it stops it?
No, it's going to intensify it. Because
I think LeBron thinks that, though. Because
here's one of the things going to happen.
You think he has that much power?
What do you think the fans are going to do now? What do you think? How
be extra critical?
So when the fans start chanting your son's name or he sucks or whatever it is, what are you gonna do with them?
Right.
I mean, you asked for this situation, you wanted it. You have to deal with it the best you can. I don't know if there's a right way to deal with it other than, then he's a basketball player. He's fair game as long as he's in that situation. It's unfortunate, but it's the real world we're in. That if he's not producing, he happens to be the son of one of the greatest players ever to play the game. Right now, still the face of the NBA. People are going to be critical about that. And if you are Stephen A. Smith, you're not doing your job if you don't talk about that. And if you are some other reporter in the NBA who's covering the NBA and you're afraid to talk about LeBron, you're in the wrong business. You're in the wrong business because that is part of how it goes. I've been there before when people have been critical of me, and that's just part of look. I got a documentary which is coming in. I'm in the Celtic City. That I'm gonna be in. There's a lot of stuff in there that's not gonna be favorable for me when I got traded, but that's just part of how it is. You have to be a big boy and take it the way it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, man, I just want to get your take on that, because it happened last week and we haven't got a chance to talk about it. But yeah, okay. So back to Porzingis, right? I mean, how severe is this, man? Like, I'm starting to worry now, Max. I don't know. Like, you're talking about potentially playing against the Thunder. I'm like, someone's going to have him again this season? Like, how severe is this virus? And have you heard anything through the grapevine as to, some sort of timetable for his return?
We just got, we got the tweet that he tweeted out. And I think he was right in doing that, to say what it is or what it isn't. We know it was not COVID related, so they put that out there immediately. But you start thinking, like, what kind of virus is it that's keeping them away from the team and playing? So all we can do is speculate. We don't know until that actually happens.
Right.
Hold on, Josue. Put on pause.
We can edit this.
Yeah. So
yeah, man. But go ahead.
Yeah, I just think that this is it's pretty fascinating to be on this side as a broadcaster, and pretty frustrating as a fan to see one of the best players for the Celtics not be able to play and not to be able to identify, to tell you exactly when he might come back. Even LeBron James right now with this hammy or his groin or whatever it
Groin
is.
injury. Yeah.
There's a timetable. We don't know what the timetable is right now for Porzingis, and that's what's frustrating to everybody.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, closer we get to April, people are like, "What's going on here?" But yeah, you're right. I mean, for Kristaps to put that message out there, kind of helps the situation for sure. Makes fans feel better, but it's not something that these doctors are recognizing right now, man. Like, has he got some people from all over the world coming to check in on him? Like, how bad is this? You know?
Yeah, and you think about it in terms of them playing last year. They went to a large chunk of the playoffs last year without Kristaps.
Yeah.
So I think that, they know they want him back. They know they need him back for a playoff run. But right now, it's only time is going to tell. And only Celtics right now and Kristaps Porzingis are going to identify when he'll come back. I think people are going to be excited. But I think people are optimistic and cautious because of what he said and what you read into it. If you said you have a virus and that virus is not been identified yet, in today's world, with all the medicine and the technology we have, that right now, that already is a red flag when it comes to that.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, man, I have to wait and see what happens between now and the next week or so. But hopefully we get some positive updates because yeah, man, like when you hear they haven't even recognized exactly what it is, or they don't know exactly what it is, it's scary stuff, man, especially in 2025 for sure. Hey, this episode of Cedric Maxwell Podcast. Take this opportunity to remind everyone is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app if you haven't already. All right. I mean, talking about the best daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million users. And again, if you haven't already, sign up today. Use the promo code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's a $50 credit when you use the promo code CLNS right after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Okay, Max, Celtics bounce, keep the winning going, I should say. I mean, I'm thinking about the Thunder right now. Keep the winning streak going against the Lakers into the matchup against the Utah Jazz. No Jason Tatum, but Sam Hauser had himself one hell of a game. Celtics had a 20-point lead. Sorry disappeared, but still hung on to win 114-108. Main takeaways, mainly, Max, blowing a 20-point lead. Not the first time it's happened this season. What happened there?
Well, I think that, Celtics kind of took their foot off the gas. It's just amazing when teams get hot, and teams are going to have streaks. There were a couple of guys with Utah that started shooting the ball really well. Celtics finally identified, and they just won the game. And did what they need to do. You need to give Jason Tatum a rest.
Yeah.
So he did not play in that game. You're able to win that game, and now everybody's still healthy, and you're just looking forward. I mean, I talked to Jrue Holiday. He has something called mallet finger. And I said, what? I asked him, what is it? And he said, the pinky, and what is it? I want to say the pinky is fractured or something like that. So that's what mallet finger is. Or maybe it's somebody that hits you in the hand with your pinky. It breaks. I think that's what he was making reference to. So,
wow.
He did come back, and that was a good thing for the Celtics. So I'm happy to see that he was back in the lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's a big part of what they do on both ends of the floor. And I was kind of wondering how long this finger, injury was gonna linger. But yeah, it's good to see him back. Celtics continue their winning streak at this homestand, which to me is really important because going into this Thunder game, man, I just, again, like I said from the top, I hope we get Jalen Williams in this situation. I don't know if we'll get Kristaps Porzingis, but I'd love to see what this team looks like, especially with Chet Holmgren down in the mix, who wasn't available a lot of time these two teams went at it.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good game. It's a test for the Celtics, obviously playing at home. if you're the Celtics right now, you want to send OKC a message that you can beat them. Who knows? You might get your wish of the Celtics and the Thunder in the finals. I know you go crazy over that, but I'm not necessarily signing up for it to be in OKC for about 5 or 6 days. I'm not signing up for that, but. Again,
you can kick it over here, man. Come through, check out my apartment.
if that's the case, we could do something live down at the arena. But I'm just looking forward to this game because one, the Celtics, this is one of the last games on this huge homestand that they have. It started out by losing to Cleveland, and now ending up, can you have your prize, your cake at the very end. If you play OKC and you beat them, I think it would really be cool, considering you got Miami and Brooklyn on second night of back-to-back coming up, and then you're about to embark on a West Coast road trip, which is one of the longest ones the Celtics will have in a while. They have about a 2-week road trip. It is Portland. Let me make sure I get it right. Portland, Sacramento, Phoenix, Phoenix, Memphis, and there's one more team, and I'm forgetting one of those teams. Portland, Sacramento, Utah, coming to Utah. So they got a 5-game road trip, and San Antonio is another game in there. So it's about 5 or 6 games they have over a 2-week period. So it's going to be, and that's at the end of March going into April, where the Celtics are, hopefully healthy and getting ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's going to be that's the turn of the end of the season right there, pretty much. But really excited for this game, especially with the Thunder coming off the loss. They had a back-to-back. The MVP showdown between Jokic and SGA went down, and they split the quick 2-game series. And I love the way the Thunder look after losses. So let's see what happens here in Boston at TD Garden. I can't wait, man. That's why I'm up a little early here, getting ready to hop on a plane in a few hours. Max, back in Boston. I can't wait. This one should be one of the better games of the regular season, if you ask me, man.
Well, your mom is already cooking that Honduran food already, so no,
I hope so.
Got some things going, so you get back into Boston and having a big game like this is really cool.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Cedric Maxwell Podcast. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. And, of course, share these episodes. It really means a lot to us, man. Like and subscribe. Cedric Maxwell Podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast. Review. If you've got, Apple. That will really hook us up, man. He's Cedric Maxwell. I am Josue Pavone. That's a wrap for this episode. We'll see you guys next week.
What's going on, everyone? It's Josue Pavone here. If you made it this far, that means you really enjoyed this video. Make sure you follow all of our social media platforms at Celtics CLNS, and of course, follow us here on YouTube.